Building a coalition. What is a coalition? In this case, it is the collaboration of three independent groups working together towards a common goal in order to maximize the effective and efficient use of resources. So, who's involved? The Woodson Foundation, the NCPIE, the Washington, D.C. School District. So why start a coalition? To bring effective and efficient delivery of programs, to empower the community, to provide a service, and to address urgent situations.
The Woodson Foundation is mainly an outcome-oriented organization, but should also be considered to be a very people-oriented organization. This organization emphasizes the use of hard data to measure their success, which implies a high attention to detail. They have won awards for their success in reducing cost while at the same time providing top-tier service. While the Woodson Foundation keeps their organization efficient, they also keep it innovative by following their founders' principles of experimentation of new methods. This also shows that the company values growth over preserving the status quo. The Washington school system is different than the Woodson Foundation, but is still mainly a people and results-oriented organization. They ultimately want the best outcomes for their student in the long run, but they're not very team-oriented. The school system here is thickly bureaucratic and believes that teachers should have the most power in decision-making. Meredith Watson, a former employee of the school system, says how much waste there is in the system, such as job redundancies, and how unless you're an insider, you can't get anything done. Earlier in the case, it is stated that the school district is afraid of their policies, procedures, and funding will be disrupted by the Woodson Foundation and the NCPIE. This shows that the organization doesn't have much imagination for innovation and doesn't have great attention to detail. Since they're willing to continue the same methods that are not working, their main priority is the stability of the status quo in contrast to growth. The NCPIE is also outcome and people-oriented, but they have an especially strong emphasis on team orientation. They want everyone to have the ability to weigh in on changes. The team also places great importance on celebrating diversity along gender, racial, ethnic, and disability status lines. They believe that if the community is the one to drive the educational methods, both students and parents will benefit more. The NCPIE is not concerned with the stability as much as they are with growth, which shows a good level of innovation. Managing the relationship between these organizations may not be easy. However, the main objective of all parties involved is to produce the best possible outcomes for the students. Since the Woodson Foundation is a nonprofit social service agency, they will be purely policy-focused. The organization isn't concerned about making money, they're solely concerned about providing better outcomes for the students while doing it at the most efficient cost. The NCPIE is mostly comprised of parents, students, and their primary concern is with giving their children the best opportunities. The NCPIE should have big power in the decisions regarding their children, even if the school board is composed of the professionals. The school district may be the hardest group to work with. They seem to be very stuck in their ways and are concerned with their budget and job security. They are afraid that the Woodson Foundation will take too dominant of a role and they won't have control over the operation of the new system that will be implemented. The school is a public industry, and its main focus should be the children. They shouldn't have complete control over the system. They had complete control over the old system, and it didn't work. Just like the government, no branch should have absolute power. It has to be a team effort. Once the school district is committed to diverging from their old ways and to work with the other two organizations, the task of managing these organizations together would be far more palatable.
Managing conflict within the coalition may become difficult because each of the three parties involved hold a solid position and belief system, as well as organizational cultural differences. It is prudent for the development team to identify potential conflicts so that they can determine ways to deal with them as they occur. A strict conflict resolution strategy should be put in place to address these problems. Understanding and appreciating multiple viewpoints involved in conflict are key factors to its resolution. The important thing is to maintain a healthy balance of constructive difference of opinion and avoid negative conflict that's disruptive. Conflict must be acknowledged before it can be fixed and resolved. The tendency is for members to ignore the signs of trouble, but if there are concerns about conflict in the team, talk it through with the members. It is almost better to let it air out than let it linger under the surface. Discuss the impact of the conflict is having on the team dynamics and collective performance. Next, agree to the cooperative process. Everyone involved must be on board with this process. This means putting the team first, and it may involve setting aside personal opinion for ideas for the time being. Show willingness to communicate with your teammates. Most importantly, through the entire resolution process, keep an open dialogue. Provide a comfortable environment for the sharing of honest opinions is crucial to keeping communication lines open and clear. This can initially aggravate the situation, but ultimately paves the way to a solution. The people involved need to work through their strong feelings and directly discussing the issues. Encourage active listening as an essential practice in these scenarios. This will ensure that the members in conflict really understand where the person is coming from. The coalition faces many challenges and has potential for conflict, but it also shares many values and common goals. All parties are interested in helping provide for the needs of the students, and they see the advantages of collaborating with other organizations to meet the end. The Woodson Foundation and the NCPIE are in agreement about their desire to see more parents engaged in the system. Recognizing where there is a common ground is the best way to begin a resolution process. Encouraging compromise wherever possible is also a key strategy to resolving the conflict. Integrated bargaining is a negotiation strategy where parties collaborate to find a good solution to their dispute. This mainly focuses on creating mutually beneficial agreements based on the interests of the disputants. Interests include the needs, desires, concerns, and fears important to each side. These are the underlying reasons why people become involved in a conflict. The purpose of engaging negotiations in general is to reconcile business objectives. A leader must always be questioning, what is the best way to achieve the objectives? The best way to obtain these goals is to organize yourself and the team around a program. The following things are important to keep in mind while training or choosing a team. In negotiation, knowledge equals power. Go in prepared, know what's at stake, and know the goal. Improve the selection process. Selecting individuals that form a negotiation team should be an exacting process. Make sure to choose people based on observation and evaluation of how they have done in previous negotiations. Establish negotiation as high-level activity. The outcomes of negotiations should make or break an organization. Improve negotiation planning to ensure that the preparation and planning are going to be effective. Separate the strategies from the tactics. Improve the accuracy of assumptions and information gathering, and organize the team all available resources.
Hello, Luke O'Neill here, covering Managing Diversity for Group C, Building a Coalition. Whenever people gather into groups or groups into coalitions, there will inherently be some level of diversity. Surface level diversity describes differences between people that can be categorized by demographics. Deep level diversity is the differences that stem from incongruent values, beliefs, cultural customs, or traditions, and myriad other variances that make the human species such a rich tapestry. Most of the time, these differences are what make group and coalition experiences so successful for the organizations and rewarding for the participant members. However, these same differences can lead to misunderstandings and conflicts that can be especially tricky to identify and overcome. It is equally important to value diversity as it is to value similarities. There have been countless studies empirically proving the increased performance and quality of outcomes achieved by groups with a diverse mix of members versus those of a more homogeneous constitution. Even without policies like affirmative action, it is in leaders and the group's best interest to fill the ranks with workers from all walks of life. Building a coalition is no exception to this practice. It will ensure a more well-rounded approach to problem solving for the group as a whole. Diversity management provides an inclusive environment that encourages all members of an organization or coalition to reach their fullest potential while fostering growth and achievement of strategic goals and outcomes. As this coalition comes together, there is a promising amount of surface-level diversity already in the mix, and much more deep-level diversity to be revealed. It will be paramount to the success of this coalition, however, to not let the existing diversity languish on the surface level. It is important for the leader of a diverse team to continuously encourage inclusion and communication between members and the leadership. In increasingly globalized communities and workplaces, the organizations and coalitions that embrace diversity will continue to enjoy a competitive advantage over those that are reluctant to diversify their workforce.
Hello, my name is Haniel Sikis, and I am part of Team C. I focused on the project design and the maximizing team performance part. Installing the proper leadership will improve the performance of any team. The leader must provide common goals that are inspirational to its members. This will permit the team to exercise greater creativity and allow a more effective working dynamic. The team requires a leader to coordinate their efforts and skills to reach their goals. This leader needs to inspire and motivate them. The leader should define the roles and delegate tasks to the members, thereby establishing the working ecosystem of the team. Apart from considerations for the mission and the team, the leader should also consider the other stakeholders of a coalition, in this case, the parents and the community. The leader should be able to present an effective message to motivate, inspire, and generate enthusiasm and support. Trust, one of the most important components to creating a transformational relationship. Trust is a powerful force, and it promotes loyalty, increases credibility, and defines how individuals relate to one another. Most teams and organizations are filled with people who have specialized jobs and responsibilities, and the only way to collaborate effectively is to understand each other, which is at the core of the trust. In order to build a transformational relationship, there are 6 main points to focus on. The first one is listening. Whenever you're spending time with your teammates, make a point to listen and understand their views and worries before you start to talk. When you invest your time in understanding the person, the dynamic of the relationship changes, and he or she will become more open, receptive, and communicative. The second point is accountability. Take responsibility for resolving your teammates' problems and provide them with thoughtful solutions. Face your team with positivity and be committed to providing an outstanding project plan. The third point is honesty. Always communicate as openly and honestly with your team as you can. When your team can rely on you to share good and bad news and show up with solutions, they know that they can trust you. The fourth point is feedback. Seek feedback from your team. It is one of the most powerful and transformational tools that are available to you. People usually shy away from asking for feedback because they are afraid of criticism, but knowing where your team stands is crucial to leading them effectively. The fifth point is integrity. Keep your promises. As a leader, it is extremely important to exemplify the same vision and values that you expose to your teammates. If you say one thing, then do another, they will begin to question your trustworthiness. Committing to deadlines without delivering on them is one of the main causes of broken trust between a leader and their team. The sixth point is humility. Admit to mistakes that you make. Taking ownership of your mistakes isn't a weakness, but a strength that conveys integrity, reliability, and trustworthiness. Program leaders need to start with the right mindset. Be focused on the project that you're about to take on and make sure there are no obvious barriers between the team and the goal. Deliberately create specific goals that not only benefit the project specifically, but also your team members. Make sure they each have achievable goals to accomplish and that they fully understand their change so that they can independently stay on track. Have in-depth knowledge of the strategy the team is trying to execute. One of the best ways to reach a goal is to break it down into more manageable steps. Knock out the easy steps first to get going and then tackle the harder ones as they approach. Always remain true to the mission as the leader and continuously check in with your team to make sure that they are staying on track and accomplishing the goals that have been set.